This year's Giving Tuesday resulted in more than $45 million of charitable donation. That is a 240% increase over last year, according to a preliminary report by the Case Foundation. Here with more on the motivation of giving is University of San Diego professor of psychology, James Wyant. And James, not many, I should say a lot of nonprofits receive the bulk of their donations during this season. Why is it so popular to give during the holidays?
Well, I think it's a number of reasons. I think one is that there's an expectation that this is the time for giving. In literature, and Charles Dickens 150 years ago, when he was writing about Ebenezer Scrooge, two of the people that visited him right away were asking for money. So I think people expect that that's going to happen. I think also people are kind of in the habit of giving. They're buying presents for their families and friends, and so they're kind of in a generous mood. And maybe, just maybe, they have a little extra money at the end of the year. That's possible. But I think it's mainly the expectation.
Okay, and there's the tax benefits, of course, we know about that.
There's the tax benefits too.
You can get that through the year. Yeah. I understand there's some research that actually says that people who give are happier.
Mm-hmm. There is. There's even, people do this functional MRIs and everything, but what's been found is the areas of the brain that are activated when people are giving are the same areas that are activated when people are feeling pleasure or reward. Not only do they report feeling better, but there's more concrete evidence that they feel better for it.
That they're actually getting some physical and emotional benefits from being a helper or from giving. Let's talk about marketing to these feelings. Are there certain strategies that seem to be more effective when reaching out to a potential donor or giver?
Yeah, I think it depends somewhat on the income level of the potential donee, but if there's a campaign that's very broad and you're asking people of even modest means, I think a very important thing is to make them not feel that they're not being generous if they're not giving a lot of money. I've done some research on, I call it getting more by asking for less, that if you ask for a generous contribution, you might actually get less people donating. I think there's two decisions that are made, like whether to donate and then also how much. And if you intimate that only large donations are appropriate, then you're losing on that first question. And I think a lot of people have in mind how much they're going to give anyhow. So they just have a rule like, oh, I give $5 in this situation, or I give $25 in this situation.
They've already made up their mind.
Yeah.
How much depends on that message, either targeting to the individual or the group? Does that make any difference?
Well, I think it's pretty critical. I think that what you say to somebody, you want to make them feel good. You want them to feel good about themselves. Some of it is empathy. They really are concerned about other people, but some of it is self-interest too. They want to feel good not only about, they not only want to make the other people feel good, but they want to feel good about themselves. So you want to make them feel generous. Somebody was asking me in the green room, like he was saying that it's very important to follow up and to thank people, and I agree with that. Thanking people is really important. It's a very simple thing to do, but it makes them feel good, makes them feel special.
So we've got the physical side of it, that you're going to feel good, and also this sense of being thanked for your good deeds. You know, let's face it, people put, a hospital wing with their name on it, and these the donations, people want to be recognized. Is that a bad thing?
I don't think that's a bad thing, and a lot of charitable giving is a very public thing. The research shows that the more public it is, the more people know about it, the more likely it is that they're going to give. If somebody, I work at a university, if somebody wants to give tens of millions of dollars for a building and they want their name on it, who am I to say, well, no, they shouldn't have
of course
their name on it. Sometimes, we do laud people that are anonymous givers, but that's probably more the exception than the rule.
Well, interesting things about giving at this time of the year and all year long. Professor James Wyant, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.